Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
Nah, Scholesy, that's not how this goes, bro. That's not how this goes. That was not an apology to Lisandro Martinez. That's not how it goes. He's saying when he sees you, you don't say any of this. And some people have misconstrued that to be like, he's not scared of Lisandro. What's he going to do? Beat him up? No. Now you've got the microphone, Scholes, and you are in the social media section. You can be judged by what you say. You have to come forward and be accountable. People can have their say. This ain't about you being a footballer, ex-pro, a legend. You one of my favorite players ever. This ain't about that. That apology was weak. In fact, it wasn't even an apology. You've even tried to do the milk and tea sugars like I'm going to be around the yard. Go and get me a cup of tea. Go run around for me. Nah, it's not how it works. Yeah, word to bouncer, Ake and all that. Yeah, Scholesy, brother. It's not that. So I hope that you're just warming up for your pod with Nicholas Butt, because that apology was not good enough. It wasn't an apology. So come correct, Scholesy. We are waiting. I put you on notice after the game outside the stadium. It's now been nearly 2 days. Get on it. There's so much to talk about, people. So much. I'm going to enjoy this show. We all need to have some big conversations, some honest conversations. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. I hope you guys are doing well on this Monday morning, where obviously we're still off the high of the weekend. And on top of that, I'm going to say results went our way. There's a lot of people that are way above us. But listen, Owen, while the positivity is flowing, just let it be.
Yes.
There was a lot of stuff for us to watch and consume and enjoy throughout the weekend. Mm-hmm. And I did.
There was indeed. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Transfer View. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe to United View if you are new. And you're right, Flex. We did. It was a very pleasant weekend, wasn't it? Watching all the highlights. I don't know about you. I've watched them over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Watched Match of the Day.
Watched Match of the Day twice.
For the first time in quite some time. It was lovely, wasn't it? It was lovely to be able to watch things that make you happy, things that make you smile. And thinking of sorry, I was laughing because Ash is just eating my hands as I'm doing this thing.
Ouch.
Her teeth are falling out at the moment. She's teething. But yes, speaking of watching things that make you smile and make you happy. Flex, you ready for a bit of Optimum in the morning?
Why not?
To start off the week? Yeah.
Today's video is sponsored by our friends at Oxford Natural and their all-new natural supplement, Optimum Day and Night. Thousands across the UK, USA and beyond are smashing their health goals with Oxford Natural. Optimum Day gives you steady energy, curbs your cravings and keeps your metabolism firing all day. Optimum Night helps you relax, get restorative sleep, recover and keep burning fat while you rest. It's not a magic pill, but it will help you reach your health goals. Check out some of the incredible results. Two of our own, OWEN, lost over 100 pounds in 10 months. And KG dropped 30 pounds in 4 months. In 8 months, football legend Michael Owen lost 35 pounds. And Robbie from AFTV, Don Robbie, lost over 80 pounds. And in 6 months, Anita, an award-winning immigration lawyer, lost 44 pounds. And Linda, a law firm executive, lost over 50 pounds. No gimmicks, no needles, just results. Oxford Natural, let's get to work.
Now, Asher, what do they have to do? They have to scan the QR code. They don't have to eat my hand. No, they have to scan the QR code right there in the sidebar. You can save up to 70% off right over there. There.
She's pointing. Yeah, she's like that.
There. You can point to scan the QR code, save up to 70% off. You can get your Optimum Day, which is good for your weight loss goals, as Flex is holding up right there. You can get your Optimum Night, which is good for your restorative sleep, as Flex is juggling right there. He's able to juggle because he had such a restful sleep from Optimum Night. It's a brand new and improved formula, as always. All the information is in the video description below. It's pinned in the chat as well, so you get the link and you can get Optimized today. Isn't that right, Asher? Optimized.
The mouth was open. She's like, yeah.
Optimised. Optimised today. Flex, we do have a lot to talk about. A lot of people were. I remember we did the show. Was it Friday? We did the show about Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, their comments on Leacher. And at the time, we were called soft. You're just being too woke. You're bloody snowflakes. That's what it is. When did men be men, Fleck? When were men, and they could take this kind of criticism, right? And our point was, it's not the fact that it's the criticism, it's the fact that it's unfounded. It's unfounded. It's not true. And not only was it not true, but Leacher then goes to prove them wrong with, the performance of all performances. Erling Haaland, not only does he not pick Leacher up and throw him in the back of the net, stinker and hook, mate. He was off the pitch.
It's so opposite. Like if you was going to write the script of I need Martinez to have a good game today, so that Scholes can't and Butt can't say. You'd write that. You'd write Martinez flawless, Man United win comfortably, Haaland hooked. You'd write that in that order.
Literally the perfect
He's
response.
right. So they have to be accountable.
So obviously Leacher, he was asked about the comments. How could he not be? He was doing interviews after the game, and he was asked about the comments because, of course, him and Scholes do have a bit of a history, a bit of a past, if you will. And he said initially, honestly, he can say whatever he wants. I told him already, if he wants to say something to me, he can come to me wherever he wants, to my house, wherever. I don't care. Now, as you can see, Paul Scholes then put this on his Instagram story where he does quite a few of his comments. And instead of going, look, fair play, prove me wrong, or great performance, great victory, instead he went down the OWEN school of thought, which was, let's be sarcastic as F. And he said, someone's had a good game, was really happy for you, ... Tea, no sugar, please, at Lisandro Martinez. Now, naturally, this has led to a lot of people going, come on, Scholesy. You just sort of say fair play, well play, hold my hand up, got it wrong. But no, it's gone down that kind of route. Now, Man United also, they weren't happy with the comments, like a lot of people. So it wasn't just us, being unhappy about it. ESPN saying that Man United were really unhappy at the rude comments from Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt on their podcast, believing it was an attempt to mock Lisandro Martinez rather than offer any constructive analysis.
On that, just that Man United bit, I'm not doing up the chatty. Like, I don't do all that. Oh, guess what happened? I just reveal just little half bits. I did get from sources, from sources, whatever, but I did get something from United that was like fair play. When that's the Scholes, the thing of me saying them two are on notice. I did it in my way, so it's not some politically correct. You saw me outside the stadium. I was like, you man are on notice. I want to see you on the podcast. I did get something from Manchester United that was in the way of fair, damn right. So I will say that. So that backs up that they were definitely unhappy with it. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Chris Wheeler also said that although there was some discontent among the Man United players over the personal nature of some of the comments from the ex-players, which was clear from Martinez's angry response to Scholes and Nicky Butt, senior players have encouraged the younger ones not to let it affect them while expressing frustration that the pundits are too ready to kick the club while it's down, which I guess would again lean into what you're saying there, sort of saying that it's not necessarily the problem with them commenting all the time, but it's the fact of it's not constructive. It's not founded in reality, and it feels like a bit of a witch hunt. And it's not everyone, it's not every ex player or what have you. Look at Patrice Evra. Patrice Evra responds to Leacher on Instagram saying, "People need to respect my warrior brother. Thanks." And then that's where you sort of no, and also as well, he's one of those. And it's not like Patrice Evra's never gone in on the club or anything. That before, he certainly
he said, did he say David De Gea should get slapped in the face? Remember, he said,
don't
let him on the bus and someone should punch him. Someone should fight him, he said. You know what I mean?
All of
and
that,
he was never on Sky again after that.
And again, I think it got mixed up, didn't it, with these comments? Because I think it got misconstrued as, so you're saying the ex-players, they shouldn't be saying anything if it's not positive. And it's not necessarily that. It's, like I said, what was constructive about that criticism? Zero. And what was based in reality with those comments? Zero, nothing. It wasn't true. It did just feel like these guys have got some issues because Scholes has said stuff before about Leacher, and it was just another case to maybe go in. And as we said earlier on, then it's been followed up by, if you're Leacher and you're Man United, you're thinking, what is the perfect response to this? Oh, it's a derby victory where we won 2-0. We could have and should have won by like 6. We battered them for 90 minutes. Their star striker, Erling Haaland, like he has a few times against United, by the way, just completely invisible throughout the entirety of the game. And he gets taken off before even full time because Leach has had him that much in his back pocket. And when you've got it that wrong, I mean, we do this for a living.
Yeah.
When
exactly.
you get it that wrong, there's nothing you can do apart from
Can't hide.
For bloody hell, I got that one wrong. And even if you are gonna, if Paul Scholes' response was, fair play, mate, brilliant victory, really happy for you and the team. I'll be round yours later for tea and sugar, for sugar, 2 sugars, no milk or something like that. You go, all right, fair enough. But it just comes across as being a bit salty, as opposed.
It's not enough. Yeah. It's not enough. It's like, but it can maybe go down as a stocking filler until the pod. You know what I mean? You play it a bit safe, like
maybe
keep people talking. People like me going, that's not enough. This, that, keep it. You're on the media side now. You're on the social media side. You're on the content creator side. So let's run with the story. But when you actually speak on it, like I think they'll probably do it. They won't. There's no way like Nicky Butt will go on there and be like, they were like, you know what? We were totally wrong. He's actually good, isn't he? Like he is. They won't just reverse their decision. They will probably be like, flipping heck, mate. Shut us up for one game, didn't he? They'll do it they'll make it like, yeah, just one game, but people keep saying that, like, calm down, it's one game. People are forgetting the original context. They were talking about this said one game. That's all they were talking about. They're talking about Haaland. Yeah, exactly. They're not talking about, tell you what, he needs to show some consistency him over like 10, 15 games. Because yeah, look, against Burnley, when he turned his back, Jane Anthony cut in, it wasn't good enough. Against Brighton, I think he lost another man. And like, there's been times where we call out Leacher, by the way, for like not defending well enough. But there's been times where he's like that. But the point of it is, if the people who aren't being lazy and actually look at the context of what Scholes and Butt were saying, they were speaking specifically on this 190 minutes that was approaching and Haaland against Martinez in general. So that's the topic. The topic isn't what he did against Burnley and he weren't good enough, or overall there's been times where he's not been great, but other times it wasn't an analysis on the player. It was a personal witch hunt / prediction, by the way, because that's another thing. They made a prediction of what would happen in that game and they were wrong. Yeah. So when you're wrong, like what happens with us, when just like I did the reverse judge differently with the Liverpool thing, but no one took it as that. They just saw me go, there's no way we're going to win this game. It's impossible. Yeah. So
still
what happened?
On to that one, Flex. Still on
They're still to this day. You know what I mean? And I learnt my lesson. But what happened though? I had to come on here and say, I've learnt my lesson. You guys here in the community know it was reverse judge, but I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again because that's what happens. I have to be held accountable. So it's what happens. If you want to enter this space, then that's what it is. Just quickly, because Martinez said more stuff. Like I know the bit on the clipped bit on that blue bit on that graphic was like a little bit of what he said, but I did see, I think the Mail there was even more on this, but he said he can say what he wants. I told him already, if he wants to say something to me, he can come wherever he wants, to my house, wherever. I don't care. Was that the bit that you had on the blue bit?
Yeah.
But then there's a bit of an extension on that. He goes, I think for me, I respect the relations when they want to help the club because everyone can talk on television. But when you see them here face to face, no one says anything in your face. And there was even more as well. I'm trying to find it because it was quite a.
Oh, whilst you find it, James Ducker said something which I thought was quite interesting. And it's true. He said, football-specific criticism is all good. But Scholes / Butt crossed the line by mocking Martinez, just as Roy Keane did with his cheap shots at Carrick's wife. Imagine if I, as a journalist, had done similar to them in print during their playing careers. They / the club would have been all over me, which is exactly true.
100%.
It's right.
100%.
There isn't. I know you can say, well, the difference is it's an ex-player and it's a journo. But basically what he's saying there is, well, if I said the same things about you during your playing career, you would be massively upset and call me out of line. So just because you're an ex-player, you can say mistruths or you can say things that, again, are not football-specific criticism, because it's not. You know, when Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt are talking about big Erling Haaland taking small Leacher and throwing him in the back of the goal, that's not football-specific criticism. When Roy Keane's saying that Michael Carrick's wife's got a big mouth or whatever, it's got nothing to do with football there, is it? That's just shots. You're just taking shots for no reason. And I think, as we've said before, it's a bit like, I suppose, with the point scoring stuff. If you're going to participate in it, then you've got to participate in it 100%. So if you're going to give it out, then you're going to have to get it back in, and you shouldn't shy away when it gets given back in. So when Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt, like you said, this is going to be what's interesting when it comes to their podcast is, if they try and be defensive or push back about it, you go, oh no, if you're willing to take the shot, you got to be willing to take the rebuttal. And the rebuttal in this case is the performance, the result, and the comeback, from Leacher. And you've got to take it, because that, again, that's how this thing works. You know what I mean? That's how this sort of point scoring thing works. I mean, I think it should always be kept to football. Sometimes things happen, sometimes emotions get in the way, but
and that's the key, and that's the thing. Like, people talk about content creators and say they don't know stick to football and stuff like that. You say, oh, he's small, what's he going to do against him? He's a giant, he's going to mug him off. Or like, oh, look at this guy, he's get your big slab head on it, you fridge. Oh, this, that. Like, people start making remarks about people's appearances in this space all the time. So Scholes and Butt are...
He says without wearing his hat,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, exactly. There you go. We live in it. There you go. That's a great... do you know what? I didn't even think of it in that way. I was literally going, but you're right, exactly. He says wearing that, and everyone's saying this, that, and the other. That's what this thing is. Now, if they enter into that as like content creators, pundits, just because they're ex-players, it don't mean they're not. They entered the chat. You wanted to be in this. You went on your own microphone with Paddy and sat down and offered up those big lines. And guess what? Had Martinez have had a shit game and Haaland scored a hat-trick or a brace dunked on his head and out jumped him and scored a goal, they would have been on said podcast going, and you think the cheek that these guys got to get onto us, mate. We told them what would happen, mate. It's candy from a baby. They'll be on there saying it. So we're just looking for that consistency. And not only consistency, we're looking for that sort of a bit of lack of more of respect as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the way they did it, I have got the full bit. So I read up to, I think for me, I respect the relations when they want to help the club, because everyone can talk on television, but when you see them here face to face, no one says anything in your face. He goes on to say, so I don't really care what they say. I just put the focus on my performance, the performance of the team, and I give everything to this club until my last day. People always say whatever they want. It's something that I can't control. What I can only do is to show on the pitch, and I think today I showed it. Imagine we have to think what people say. We have to be focused for the rest of this club. We want to change this situation, and we are the only ones who can change it. And that's the perfect response, especially after you've played so well, because really, he can really come out and say, hold that. Like, he can, after that level of performance, he has the keys to even take it a step further and be like just go in and say, what are they saying now? They're very silent. I can't hear from them. And I know he did a little bit of, I think he got the perfect balance of, walking and saying that. But also, his thing was this before the game. He even said, like, criticism. This is, I think, before they even made the comments, I think, because he done the Argentinian thing when he was like, we can't control criticism. We're big players. It's more for our families and our, the brothers, sisters, uncles, aunties. Like, it's harder for them than it is for us. People say stuff about us all the time. We got to have thick skin. We play for big clubs. We got to just get on with it. So he's shown to carry himself very well in all of this, in all the different phases, especially for someone like Leacher, who is very combustible. Do you know what I mean? I think he's very smart. Because we know he can go out there and cuss them out, but he's gone out. I respect that they're legends. They've achieved everything at this club, this, that, and the other. But let me just show it on the pitch. That's it.
Yeah, a million percent. By the way, we've got over or close to 1,500 people watching. We're already close to 300 likes. So let's get to a quick 500 and maybe 750 this morning. We're currently 4 out of 10 on the super chat goal as well. So if you haven't already get your super chats in, Terrence with the first, of the morning says, seriously, a lot of our ex-players need to shut the F up. They were great servants to the club. So why not back the current crop instead of saying BS statements? Hassan says, I'm disappointed with Butt and Scholes. Lil Yo-Yo says, Flex, you need to talk spicy. DR later. Press.
Yes, definitely. Is Kem, someone just said there, please cook that City rep on DR. Kem better be there. He better be there. I don't think he's going to be there.
Psychic Larrick says, need to optimize starting on time. Well, we're still hungover from the weekend, mate. JP's been a member for 42 months, says that Derby win was epic. Big up, everyone. Big up yourself, JP, for 42 months of support. And Shyam says, Gary Neville should be questioned like that as well. When he interviewed Ruben face-to-face, there was no hard-hitting questions. But when he's doing commentary, oh, my God, he doesn't shut up. I will say about Gary Neville, yeah, and obviously he's a very divisive figure at the moment. But if people haven't, I would recommend going to listen to his podcast this week, because I do think it's probably the best he has spoke about United in like 18 months, where he basically said, like, when that first goal, the build up to it and the goal, he's like, I was literally getting emotional because that's Man United that I recognize. That's Man United that I played in. That's Man United that I grew up watching, that kind of, not even just do the whole counter attack. He meant more like, aggression, 4v2, just putting it on them, the crowd being up and all that kind of stuff. That is what you want to see. And I suppose it's like everyone, isn't it? We've all lived it in the last 2 years, and communities here, and sometimes a community, they'll get onto us for being negative, or you see your favorite creators online, or favorite people in the media are being negative all the time. And the reality is, everyone's being negative all the time because it's been really negative the last 2 years. You can't get away from it. That's why also Saturday felt so great, because it wasn't just beating the rivals and the performance that went with it. It was just everything. It just felt like fresher, didn't it? It just felt like, that's what I remember it should be like, that's what it should be. And so obviously, look, Gary Neville sometimes on commentary, he's been unbearable. Yeah, he really has. And some of the times the stuff he does say, he is a bit compromised in the sense of he's never going to go full in on Ineos, because, he's involved with the stadium and the, rejuvenation of the of that part of Manchester. But when you do hear his comments on his podcast at the weekend, I did think that that kind of explained his position quite well. Since we're talking about Carrick, since we're talking about Scholes and Butt, Flex, being accountable, should we take a few minutes for a bit of an accountability session, shall we?
I want full accountability. This is my favorite word. I was hounded out of this very channel many months ago, one cold night in December, whilst talking about accountability early in Ruben's reign. And so any reason that you've got to talk about accountability, I'm here for it. What are you saying?
Well, look, I was on the fence about doing this, right? I was on the fence about doing this, but I thought, as just a general experiment, this is more of an experiment. This isn't more of like a victory lap or a point scoring session. This is just out of curiosity. Those that were almost doing sort of strange victory laps last weekend when we lost to Brighton, and doing the you asked for this, you got what you wanted, I hope you're happy, blah, blah, blah. I wondered to myself, a bit like we're asking for Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, have they come out since then? Have they come out here and got involved with the community and said, I was given a lot of shit, but hey, that was wrong. I thought, let me check. Let me check. And folks, the results I found were rather interesting.
Before you carry on, you're not trying to say like after one game it means like we're fit? No. Like what is your before you roll this out, what is your intention from this? What are you trying to highlight? What is your point?
My point I'm trying to highlight is that all of this stuff was never about winning or losing or being happy that Manchester United were winning, or maybe wanting what was the best for Manchester United. Rather, what was really wanted is, I was right. Ruben was right. And Ruben Amorim was this big genius, right? That's what I wanted to see. And the results are very, very interesting. So I did this at about an hour and a half ago, right? So this isn't even like, it's straight after the game. I did this an hour and a half ago. This video, right? This screen grab. Honestly, this is fascinating. So you can see this is from the game.
I just see someone say I was part of the problem there.
Yes, exactly. This is from after the game against Brighton in the FA Cup, right? So you can see this, and it just went straight to the comments. And interestingly, and people got to remember this. So with the comment section there, like it is, if you click the little circle that's next to the name, it shows up like your last sort of 3 comments on the channel, right? It says your last 3 comments. And I thought, I wonder if them, so just proving there, that's Flex's round, our club is finished, blah, blah, blah. So top one, Flex, you're part of the problem, mate. You call for the manager's head over the formation, didn't see the long-term vision. I thought, I wonder if this guy has commented recently. No, he hasn't. Next one, Ten Hag out, Amorim out, just enjoy the atmosphere, please. I thought, I wonder if he's commented recently. No, he hasn't.
How can you wait? It says 2 comments.
2 comments on the channel.
Right.
That's all they've ever made.
Ever. Oh, ever. Right. Okay.
All they've ever made is one there and that one, and they'll show the recent ones. So it says recent comments, and it will be like the last 3 recent comments they've made on the channel. So nope, hasn't replied since we won. Right? Yeah. Even a member, Wobo, big up, mate. Have you responded since? No, you haven't responded since.
Oh shit.
Right, this can keep going. Stop complaining. Be happy. You wanted Ruben out, right? Have you responded since? Nope. Haven't responded since last week. Haven't commented since last week, by the way. We've won. Radio silence. Keep going. Shame on you, Flex. You got what you wanted. Have you responded since? Nope.
Toto, where are you? Why are you not happy we beat City? Nope. Where are you?
Last comments were Flex rant, and the comment before that was Amorim has finally adapted, where he said, shame on you, by the way. Shame on you.
Wow, and that was me bigging up Amorim. That was me even saying fair play.
Yep. I can carry on. Here we go. Which one have I gone to next? Flex, you got served? Nope. Not heard anything from that. If anything, no response since actually we won at the weekend. Amorim's gone. You got what you wanted. Have you responded? Nope. Hasn't responded since we won at the weekend.
Even said Flex's win rate 0%. Yeah, of that.
Exactly. David Flex never learns. That was his only comment on the channel. I think the next one, Flex, this is what you wanted, mate. When was the last time you the last thing you said was Owen talk shit? That was last weekend. That was last weekend as well.
No.
Can keep going. But Flex, this video.
Wait, that one there. Minutes. This clown.
Flex, don't worry, mate. This is a minute into a 4-minute clip. I'm telling you.
Oh, this is a clip. What you're doing here?
Yeah, no, this isn't.
Oh,
live.
this is a script.
No,
I thought you was.
No. So that was the one, right? So the next one, never seen better comments. So I thought, I wonder if he's never responded. Hasn't put anything in since we won. This clown,
criminals.
This clown wanted Amorim out. Now he's crying again. Social media influencers, biggest problems, idiots. Have you responded? Nope. Nope. Keep going. Honestly, you can keep going for all of them. What was the one this guy said? Romeo. I forget. I'll go back a little bit. Romeo said, it goes down. But it basically, look, there you go. Now you understand why the manager played 3 at the back. You and your friends wanted this. Romeo, have we heard from you? Nope. We've not heard from him. Which one did I click next?
Oh, people are getting put on blast.
Brandon, that was it. The Brandon said, back for a Mano. That's what it was. Has he responded? Has he put a comment in at the weekend? Nope.
Where are they?
I'm telling you.
Actually are they?
Buddy, you got what you wanted.
Happy we won.
Buddy, you got what you wanted. Manager sacked, back 4, Mano in midfield. Look what happened. Never learn. Let's see if he responded since the weekend. No, he's only ever put a couple of comments on the channel, so no. Next guy. Shenanigan. The last guy smashed Brighton 18, put 4 past them, but apparently he was a defensive manager. Let's see if we heard from him since the weekend. Nope. We haven't heard from him since the win. It carries on. Like, I'm not joking. Wow. It's all of these. This was one of my favorites. This is one of my favorites. Kushak. I never want to hear / see the term United DNA again, which is basically what this whole thing has been about over the weekend, hasn't it? That's Man United. That's Manchester United DNA. You never want to hear the term again? Have we heard from you again? No, we have not heard from you again. Because this is my point, folks. It's never been about Ruben Amorim. It's never been about Erik ten Hag. It's never been about anything. All it's ever been is just being right. Because if you're a Man United fan, surely when we've won the Manchester derby, you should then come back and then go, hey, I tell you what, I was giving shit, but that's a brilliant performance. They vanished. They have disappeared. These people. They have literally disappeared. They will not comment. Do you know how mad that is? That they are literally vanishing, right? This is a clip for 4 minutes. Do you know how difficult it was to find someone that actually had recently commented, look, it's still going. It's still going.
This is actually wild.
In the words of Tom Cruise and Reacher, remember, you wanted this, disappeared, nothing. In fact, those people like, sorry, I'm going to put you on blast here, Mark. In the Tom Cruise Reacher, you wanted this. So the recent comments before that are, again, only when we've lost have people come in to these comment sections to go, I was right. When we win, they don't celebrate. They don't come in and celebrate with everyone. They fuck off. Do you know how mad that is? Do you know how crazy that is? I'm only halfway through the clip, folks. I'm only halfway through. Literally, people would rather come in when we've lost and say, Flex, you wanted this. You know, I was right. Ruben's this and that. But when we win and our best performance of the season, zip, gone. No comments, nothing to say. Negative or positive, by the way. Because if it was positive, you would go, look, fair enough, you like us all, flip-flops. But it's the fact that they'll disappear. Nothing. Nothing to say. Nothing to say about it, which is mental. This can keep going. There, nothing.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it's as bad as this. This is one thing with Owen.
And it's all the same phrase, Flex. It's always the same phrase. You reap what you sow. You got what you wanted, and then when everyone does get what they want, i.e., Manchester United win, Manchester United play well, they disappear. How mad is that? To the point where you go, maybe they're bots. They can't be real, surely.
They can't be, because real people wouldn't do this.
But the worst thing is, I think they are. There's too many. It's all point scoring. It's bullshit. Bollocks.
Boy, you lot.
And that's my presentation for today, folks. And so that always goes to remember, be careful what you say in the comment section. Be careful what you say in the chat, because everyone is always watching all the time.
Guys, you lot need to be careful. Are any of you man enough or woman enough or brave enough now watching live going, I was one of them? Have you got it in you? Because we listen, accountability is also about forgiveness, it's also about redemption, it's also about moving forward. We will judge you because we just have. But if you step forward, can anyone step forward? Honestly, I'm challenging the community. I'm not going to frown on you. Was you one of the people where you're like, shit, I'm surprised my one didn't even come up? Like, were you one of those? Just be honest. And Broderick, look, this is not me point scoring, by the way. This is not me, because at no point have I gone in there and told you I was right. It's not even that, because I don't even know if I was right or wrong about or anything like that, right? My point I'm highlighting there is those same people that'll be straight up your ass when we've lost a game will vanish when we've won a game. Do you know how bizarre that is? That is bizarre behavior, isn't it? When you think about it. I'm going to scream at you when we lose. When we win, I'm just going to disappear. And this isn't even like, oh, Carrick at the wheel, Carrick, we're going to win the league, we're going to win the next few games. We still probably, all of us think Arsenal at the weekend, we're probably going to lose that game, let's be honest. Yeah. And as far as the rest of the season goes, who knows? This is one game, it's Man United, but I think that just highlighted what I think a lot of people have been seeing, which is, what is with this, like, making someone like this martyr, and this, like, people got treated so badly wrong, and like when we played Burnley, there was almost like people like hate watching, hoping that we lost against Brighton. It's just strange behavior, very strange behavior. Manish says Owen just went scorched earth. Sorry. I'm never commenting. We're obviously not saying that. Don't be scared to comment. All we're saying is just be consistent, or be prepared to be held accountable. That's it. The same way that we will be. Look, oh my God. We have to be. Yeah. We can't escape. We can't escape. And that's where you're right. It's different for people who can just, jump in, jump out. And we're not pleading, sympathy, or we've chosen to do this. And, we enjoy it. Obviously, it's been terrible times, but we enjoy it. Otherwise, we wouldn't do it. But we can't escape that level of scrutiny. We're on microphones every single day saying stuff, saying opinions. People try and clip you. People try and get one-upmanship for a bit of attention. Like, that's what people do. But also some people do it just to troll or just to, like you always say, the contrarians. There's always something. So what we're just encouraging you guys to do is just obviously say, have your say. This is what it's about. But just know that you can get rebuttal. Just know you can get pushback to be like, you're saying that, bro, but where were you after we won? Where's the you asked for this now? It's a fair point. Fair point. Slim says, believe Andy Cole told us, Flex. He did. I'll talk about that in a minute.
I think it's just my theory about it before is I think we were very strongly player FC once upon a time after Jose as a fan base. And I think because we weren't happy with our own behavior in that, we went really far the other direction. And we are so desperate for any coach to work out that we will kind of force it, even if it's not working out, and try and sort of delude ourselves into thinking that it will. And what's even further muddied the waters is that the manner of which Ruben ended up leaving wasn't really based on results. It was based on a fallout, and Ineos are criminals because they're not doing a good job. And obviously the Glazers, we hate them. So it's just become this real, I don't know, sort of weird cauldron of mess. You know what I mean? And it's odd. And my hope really is now, between now and the end of the season, is that there can be some form of unity. Maybe it's kind of impossible, I know, but that is coming out of that game at the weekend. Honestly, Flex, that is the best I have felt after a United game probably since the FA Cup final back in 2024. Most complete, over 90 minutes. Should have won by more, and who knows whether that will continue. But it just goes to show that, all right, that is achievable. And actually, those criticisms that lots of people were putting out over the last 18 months. They were valid. It wasn't just being haters. Like we have to acknowledge that. Not every. We spoke about it with Paul Scholes and Nicky Butt earlier on. When you keep it to football, not every bit of criticism is just being a blind hater. You know what I mean? Or just having this agenda, or just out of dislike. The criticisms of Ruben Amorim over the last year or so weren't just because I want to see the club do bad. It was because every single game you're watching bad football. And the fact that Michael Carrick, after 3 days, can do something that Amorim couldn't in terms of the performance, and even Darren Fletcher couldn't in two games as well, that maybe would suggest that the coach could have got maybe more out of the players. That's not a tough, that's not a overhyping thing to say, I think, anyway. So the problem now that United players will have is that that's the bar, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the bar.
That is the bar. You said there was a 10 super chat goal. I think we're on 9, but including members chats as well. Though, so
we're on 7 actually.
We're on 7 for actual super chats.
Yeah.
So big up to yourselves, guys. Let's see if we can hit the goal. JP says that Derby win was epic. Big up everyone who's been a member for 42 months. It was. Is this the right place to start from? I think it is.
Yes.
Yeah. Shyam says that Gary Neville would be questioned like that as well. When he interviewed Ruben face to face, there were no.
I did read that one.
Oh no, you did that. You did read that one.
Yeah.
Psychic Larry says, I was angry when we sacked Ruben. I felt he was the right guy. I was wrong. I stay here through it all, accountable.
And by the way, I'm not clapping. Larry. I'm not clapping because I'm like, you agree with me, or anything like that. No. Psychic. I'm saying that.
As in, that's the right way to be.
But I'm with you, Larry. When we hired Ruben, I thought he was the right guy too. I thought Ineos hire, right guy. But I think maybe hopefully a learning lesson in all of this can be, we always hope everyone's going to be the right guy. But it's also to admit after a period of time that maybe they're not. You know what I mean? That doesn't make you a fake fan. That doesn't make you weak. That doesn't make you not have the stomach for a rebuild. And people shouldn't jump down your throat for that, by the way, as well. Just going, actually, you know what? Maybe this isn't kind of working out. It's like a marriage, isn't it? Everyone gets married because they want to, till death do us part. Sometimes they don't work out. Is what it is. It's life.
Yeah, 100%. Didas says, why ex-United players trying to assault my manager? Come on, you Gunners. Oh, because I don't like Arteta because they said he needs to get back in his technical areas.
He does. He's been doing that for ages.
He's a lunatic. He always does. He gets in the way of people taking the throws.
Yeah, or
he's always
the thing
stepping out of line, literally.
When
he's a lunatic.
If people are running down the touchline or they're coming towards him, he'll sprint out towards them, sometimes right to the edge of the pitch. Yeah. And even if it's like kind of in the peripheral vision. That does make a difference. You shouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? Marginal gains, mate.
100%. And Aki says, we are in a 16 games tournament to win the league. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. We have got more to talk about. Oh, hold on. Kristen says, big up to Kristen. He says, I was the biggest Amram supporter, disappointed how things went, but we got to move on and back the next guy. I'm always here to take it. There you go. And it's not even that like you always have to be able to hold that and just like it's football. Yeah, you're going to say something that can be true this week and not necessarily true in 3 months' time. You can say something out of emotion. You can make a prediction of how you think something's going to go, and it could be nothing like that. It's just how it is. But just people laugh at me all the time and say flip, flop, flex and all that, and say like and laugh when I say new evidence says. Yeah. When I say new evidence has presented itself, it's the most basic thing to understand. But people think you're just trying to worm your way out of something. No, it's just a measured way of looking at things. I think this, but I'm going to sit back and watch and then make another assessment. After another assessment, I actually think this. Don't get me wrong. Changing it day by day is like, it's too much. And then being really emotional as well. We are fans. That's another thing as well. No one's saying, don't have emotion. Don't show any. We're fans. And that's where KG, the bit of like, we all chat shit. We're fans.
And this is why, this is also why, Flex, when you were doing the thing with KG last week and you said, even as joking, you weren't going to say Carrot on the permanent. And that's why I said, look, it's bullshit because we're emotional.
We said it.
Even
still not going to say that.
You're a few games away, mate. You're a few games away. No. I'm still not going to say that. You're a few games away.
And don't try and you drop that in when I'm not concentrating to try and get me to...
I won't. No. But I remember you said not even as a joking way, remember? Not even joking.
100%. And I'm not going to do that. I won't do that.
Right. But again, the point I'm making with all of that, again, it's not about point scoring. It's not going, see, I was right about Ruben. Because look, we might find out in 3 or 4 games that wrong about Ruben. You know what I mean? We might actually find out that actually Carrick, he might lose every single game between now and the end of the season. You go, actually, maybe Ruben was doing a really good here at United. My point with that video was just, why come in, scream at people when we lose that you wanted this, but when we win, and by the way, we've all won at the weekend, regardless of who you like and don't like, we all won, then to kind of disappear and not celebrate it with everyone because you in a weird way personally lost because you weren't right is just odd. That is, to me, I can't really wrap my head around that kind of mindset to me.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all as well. Aki says, a game a week, 16 games, lads. It's possible. He's really believing in this title thing. I think we need to stop doing that. But in terms of what Andy Cole said to me, in terms of believe, yes. Let's not take away. I have to say, before we move on to talking about transfer plans, etc., just on a personal, you see when Gary Neville said that thing, what you referenced about, like, I just feel so good not having to come in here and talk about the crap we've just witnessed, and just that level of performance and being able to be a fan who's just fully involved and proud of the team. I'm on the end of every tackle, every pass, every goal, every disallowed goal. But, we clapping the team off at halftime because of the intent shown. Just the intent. Yeah. We hadn't even scored a goal. We weren't winning the game. We were saying at halftime, it's just City go up a level, and we've done this before. We never played good for the whole game. But we clapped them off the pitch because we were like, we want to see you play like this. Win, lose, or draw. I just want to see you look like this, trying to win, running really hard, getting in people's faces, creating chances. Then when you improve the squad or this, that, and the other, you buy better players and stuff like that, fine. But can you just do this? And it's been so long. And I saw some of the comments where people, again, were like, I haven't seen this Flex in ages. I was so good. I want you to be like this more. And it's like, I thought that about myself. I want to be able to do that more often. Yeah. But the team needs to give us that. If you're not able to,
if you're not able to, you know what I mean? You can't, unfortunately, I suppose with all of this sort of stuff, you can't fake it, can you? You know what I mean?
No.
Especially if your team's losing or playing badly or anything like that, you can't fake it. You can't fake being happy when your team
say when we came out of when we came out of the losing to 10 men against Everton. Say I came out in that exact same spot and I went, guys, I know we've lost this game. But there's another game next week. And we have to believe they can do it. They deserve our support. And then after the West Ham game, the next home game, or was it whoever it was, and we didn't win that one as well. It was like 3 in a row we didn't win, innit? And I went, guys, I know this is after the Everton game and the 10 men. And I know, but we didn't lose today. We lost the last game, and we got a point today. Like, it's just not that.
I did that after the Leeds game. I went, because I still stand by it, actually. It wasn't a bad point, considering the absences and away from home. I went, that's a good point. And then that got turned into, gets a newly promoted side, blah, blah, blah. But it's true, like, you can only react to what you're seeing, and if you're seeing dross most of the time, it's going to be negative. One thing I do want to say in terms of praise, obviously, so much praise has gone to Michael Carrick for that performance, but I do want to also give a lot of praise to the coaching staff. I think that obviously quite a lot's been made of that coaching staff that's come in. Keane said his stuff about Johnny Evans and what have you. But one guy that I thought actually did get, and I mentioned this before, even the game at the weekend, one guy that got actually for some reason some strange disrespect was Steve Holland, who I think just because obviously he's associated with Gareth Southgate for so long, because obviously he was with Southgate for however many years, that it's just going to be Gareth Southgate and this guy doesn't have a clue. Mate, Steve Holland is one of the most respected coaches in world football. I mean, this guy's won Premier Leagues with Conte, Mourinho, Ancelotti. Like, he's been there and done it. He's also, according to Andy Mitten, I saw, a Manchester United fan, and I think that came across when you saw him on the touchline at the weekend. And that's not a bad coaching staff, of Carrick and Holland and Woodgate and what have you until the end of the season. Like I said, Steve Holland, he's super, super experienced. Like, you're talking about the best of the best coaches there. The coaches that someone should say we should be going after, Don Carlo, maybe not Jose or Conte nowadays, but still, even Conte's doing his bit thing in Italy. Like, these guys all kept him around because he knew his shit. And he fell out with Ben White. Managers fall out with coaches, fall out with players all the time. No problem. So I think he will be a massive difference maker for us between now and the end of the season. That is a coach with experience, worked at big teams. And look, obviously, I'm not a Gareth Southgate advocate by any stretch, but even when you're in the England setup, as we know in this country, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that. My goodness. And a lot of media scrutiny that comes with that. So, my hope is, as Kristen's saying there in the chat, that, whoever takes it on permanent in the summer, hopefully he can stick around in that coaching staff, because he is a top coach. He really
just
does
in his own right.
Stuff.
Like, regardless, like, say we still had Ruben and then they added Steve Holland because I was like, I want to get some.
Make a difference.
Like,
it makes a massive difference. Absolutely.
Aki, did you read it? I believe 21 is coming. He says, you're not letting it go, are you, bro? Listen, I'm not going to tell you not to believe. I've learned my lesson about that. Who am I to tell anyone about believing with what Andy Cole did to me and said to me? Psychic Larry says, not going to lie, if I see this for 5 more games, sign the ting. Owen, that's me reading out super chat. That's not me joking. Everyone, that's not me saying it. It's Psychic Larry saying, not going to lie, if I see this for 5 more games and Frank cuts his hair, 4 more games, Frank will cut his hair. He's saying sign the ting.
Do you know what will be difficult for a lot of people, and I know you included, is that if that performance is replicated against Arsenal at the weekend and we get a similar result, like, to go from finishing 15th last season, this season, our best bit of form was winning 3 games in a row, a couple of draws, to beating first and second, like, home and away and dominating.
Yeah, that'll be a big statement.
We will lose
that
our
I can
minds.
say.
As a collective, we will lose our minds.
That I can say as well. I could say that will lose my mind. I'll lose my mind. I'll be celebrating and crazy.
But you know what is nice? Going into that game at the weekend, and it's still a massive ask. Like, our recent record at the Emirates is awful. Arsenal, they're going to win the league this season and what have you. But just to be able to go in that game and have a little bit of chest, not a lot, not huge, but just have a little bit of, like,
I'm believing. I'm believing, bro. We don't have to lose that game. That is
nice, isn't it? That is nice to be able to go into that.
And you know what? I know it's a little bit previewish. We've got loads of content coming up with the Arsenal guys. You know what it is during that week when we play them. So look out later on this week. They've got international break. They've got Europe. They've got Champions League. For the first couple of days, so they're not back in and around it till about Wednesday. So from a Thursday onwards, you'll start seeing different bits of content coming through. But you guys know what I'm like every single year at the Emirates. You know, like me on a personal, like what it does to me, how I approach it. And I've never been wrong once, to be honest, because I ain't won it since doing
Apart
this.
from last year.
Oh yeah, in the FA Cup, which to be fair, in the league I haven't. In the FA Cup, which is, and then you saw the celebrations. I was posting up Kai Havertz t-shirts. I was, he was a disgrace that game. All of that stuff. But you're right, Owen. This time I don't care. No, I do believe. And when you look at Arsenal, they're obviously very good, the best, but they're not free flowing at the minute. They're not creating loads of chances against most teams. There's a bit of the league. I know the same way the league's a bit thing for us, where everyone around that area and 4th to 8th can thing. It's the same with like 1st and 2nd a bit. Like Arsenal are not outstanding, but City can't really get it together.
Yeah, you can get it.
You can get at Arsenal. Well, they don't. It's not like they're conceding loads of goals, but don't. It's not that they get after every team like they would like to with how good they are, and that's becoming a bit of a frustrating figure for them. And the big games at home, let's be honest, they drew 0-0 against Liverpool, underwhelming. They drew 1-1 against Man City, underwhelming. Obviously, they destroyed Tottenham. Tottenham don't count. But, there's a way where you can nullify them and frustrate the crowd and nick a draw. And we can do it. We can do it.
I mean, I mentioned this in the full-time view on Saturday, is I think it does a disservice to the players, the Man United players, and Michael Carrick, just to kind of swipe away of, but you played counter-attack against Man City. That's why you won, because it was so much more than just playing on the break or playing in transition. Yeah, we had a lot less of the ball. Yeah, that first goal was a counter-attack goal. For some reason, counter-attack's like a bad phrase to use in football, but it was way more than that. It was aggressiveness. We were all over them in terms of pressing, tackles, winning the ball back high up the pitch, blocks, interceptions. So I don't really look at that as just, counter-attack. I look at it having a game plan and then being able to motivate the players to execute it, and they executed it perfectly. So Arsenal, they'll do the same. At the weekend, they'll probably have more of the ball and be looking for spaces. Obviously, they'll be playing, on their set pieces. They're very good at set pieces. And we'll try and hit them on the break, or when we do get the ball and win it in certain places, it's quite direct. Switch of play. Who I did not think Patrick Dorgu had a switch of play at him, but fuck me, did he had a switch of play at him. Unbelievable. Yeah. And then also, now we've got some people to come off the bench that can make a difference. Mateus Cunha, those who were really criticizing the last few games. He's not creative enough. He nearly had 2 assists at the weekend. He got 1. He should have had a second one. The Mason Mount disallowed goal was bullshit because they took the wrong frame offside. It should have legitimately
Did they take the wrong frame for that?
It should have been 3-0. It should have been 3-0.
I just thought it was that real tight hairline one where that was semi-automated, done its job.
Yeah, should have been 3-0. And again, that's where I think you do have to give praise to Carrick, because some of the decisions when the team news came out, it was, I don't know about that. You're playing Dorgu again instead of Cunha. I know Cunha's not been playing well recently, but you're not playing Šeško. 3 goals in 2. He's unlucky there, but he got it right. We're playing on the break. We're playing direct. I need people to run in behind. So Mbumo runs in behind. That's how he got his goal in the first half. Yeah. Dorgu, just energetic, constantly busy, constantly making things happen. And then the subs that he did make, all right, Cunha, things again get a bit stretched. Go and just do your stuff. Be creative, because he's not creative. Be creative. Should have had 2 assists. That's a pretty creative player to me. So, suddenly it's amazing what wins could do, because suddenly you look at your players differently and go, we've got some people we can bring on.
And you look at them. That is where but this is where it is interesting, because that is where some people who do the typical football fans just change their mind like the wind. So you go, I'm saying the club's finished the other day. I'm angry. I'm saying that none of these players, like KG was onto the player. Everyone's onto the players because the mask was ripped off, right, from Ruben. It can't hide behind the system. Got 4-3-3 against Darren, with Darren at the wheel, Fletcher at the wheel. But it shows you that it is more than that, because you can look at it and say, so what? I thought you said all them players are shit. But it does show you that if you set them up in a way that is conducive to them and get through to them, you can get a tune out of them. The biggest and most difficult task is, can you get a tune out of them consistently?
Yeah, can you motivate them?
This was Manchester City at home. You had Michael Carrick, who's won 5 Premier Leagues, coming in 3 days And, you know, like Martinez was saying, he goes, it was unbelievable. The coaching staff, all of them, what they've done for us in 3 days.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where the criminality can be proved or disproved again of, do we never see that again? If we go to Arsenal and get stuffed and we see nothing like it, you can go there and see something like it and still lose. But if we go there and see nothing like it, go out on a whimper, didn't create, didn't run after him, didn't show any confidence, then you go, you idiots. Like you know, then Fulham at home, if it's tight and laboured, like if it's like how we would have expected to play against Fulham before, then you go, right, so the players just...
That's really the one, isn't it? I mean,
you know what I mean?
It is true when you go, you know, as of now, you know, City and Arsenal, maybe they're not necessarily the best barometers because you can get up for big games and, you know, that sort of stuff for derbies. If we play Fulham at home, we beat them convincingly, you know, then that's when you go, all right, they have tuned into something a little bit different. They're getting a level of consistency that, you know, prior people weren't getting before. Because, like I said, the other part of it is, obviously, we talk about Ruben, but even Fletcher, when he came in for those couple of games, there's not much he can do, granted, but he couldn't make that dramatic difference that Michael Carrick and his coaching staff made in 3 days. You know, that is just... It is, like Gary Neville said in his podcast, it is remarkable. And it is one of those ones where, you do have to look at the players and sort of go, yeah, I still do kind of see you. You know what I mean?
Because how much does Carrick, Michelangelos Carrick-Tino, bro? That's his name. Michelangelos Carrick-Tino. Like, he just tactically just got everything right. He did set them up in a way, but they have to carry it on. They have to carry on. It's on them. Lil Yo-Yo, this was the only caveat, bro. This is not even a joke. Like, I can say this. This is allowed to be said. This is a phrase that has been passed in Parliament beforehand, yeah? If Carrick wins the league, give him the job. Everybody agreed on that one. When Owen wasn't there on that Flexing KG show, we all said that is the only way he can get the job if he wins the league, i.e. we're not getting involved in, you know, he can get joking about nothing. The only factual thing we can say is, obviously, if he won the league from this position, which obviously isn't going to happen, then obviously he can get the job. Super Art says, we nearly beat them with Amarim first game. If we keep this same mentality and energy with less mistakes, we can get it done. Yeah, I agree. Ake says, this is not a super chat. This is not a super chat. I think it is, though. Is it? It is, yeah. It is, my name is Flex, and you can clip this. United will win the league. 16-game tournament. Owen, believe. Again, this is not a super chat. Clip this and spread it. All right. Bro, we believe you. We believe you, bro. We believe you. Ronnie Dodge says, I think ex-players don't want the club to succeed. And Daniel Luciano, big up to you, says, Dorgu dropping to midfield on defense was genius. Yep, 100%. He was at it. Biggie the First says, Flex, where is the hat? New Year's resolution. No. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. Oh. I just took it off. Just had a trim and just that day. And then it's just all rolled into one of Andy Cole ringing me and telling me to believe. I just happened. Maybe this is fate or God or whatever. Like, it's something that just made all of this work. I didn't go, do you know what? I'm going to take my hat off. Something needs to change at Man United. Maybe I just do that. Didn't come to it. Went to the barber's Friday morning, had a trim, and just thought, oh, no point putting a hat on. Just paid for a trim. Let me just not wear it. I just didn't wear it. And then it created all of this. And everyone's talking about it. And then we won. And then Coley told me to believe. And now it's almost like, well, I said to you before we went live, didn't we? I said the problem is now on United View, until we lose, you're not allowed to put it back on. Like, no, you know, there's like, you've taken the hat off. We've then put in our best performance for 2 years. Yeah, like that hat cannot go back on until we lose a game. It can't. You can't. Do you know the last time, Flex? I was thinking this on Saturday. I used to when we were winning a lot, and it's a really good win. I would do the match view and do stuff on here, and then afterwards I'll go watch the highlights again on Sky Sports PL because I just want to see, I want to hear the crowd and I want to hear everything, you know, and I want to watch it again. And I was doing that and I was enjoying it, and then I thought, I cannot remember the last time that I did that. I cannot remember the last time that, like, after a game, a Premier League game, I sort of went on, watched the highlights again a few times because I just couldn't get enough of it. You know, I couldn't get enough of that feeling. It's like an adrenaline rush, like hearing that roar on the first goal, like being there. It's just, it's amazing. I haven't done that in ages. Like, it's honestly in such a long time. There have been a couple of moments here and there, like last year with the comeback, but there was still that against Lyon, but there's still that thing in the back of your head. It's like,
yeah, but that's kind of wild that we let that happen. But like, I can't remember the last time I was thinking it might have been, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I did that. Of like,
It's been ages.
I've been watching it over and over and over again. You know, when you go through every video on Sky Sports, you go watch the reaction, you go watch the manager interview, you go and watch like fucking Sunday Supplement, as someone said there in the chat. You go watch Match of the Day. You watch it all.
You just consume everything to do with that game, and you really because we're so used to. I can't wait for every bit of noise to go away from the game we've just played, and it's on to the next rinse and repeat, onto the next rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
It's Liverpool Cup win, like the same vibe as that. Like when Ahmad scored in the last minute and stuff, I was at that game. You know, obviously PSG away, I was there, kept watching that for ages. Like all of these big games, I've been at Manchester Derbies, we've won before. It's like that, and then FA Cup, you know, the penalties. I watched that against Arsenal. I was like, oh yeah, you know, just want to see it again. So even a 2-1 win at Liverpool. Like just everything. Man City last year, they're just so few and far between. And none of them have looked like that. Like I said, we've had big wins. We've beaten Liverpool. We've beaten Liverpool this season. We went massive win. Like we didn't pick holes in it because it wasn't dominant throughout. But we went, you know what? We were good value for the win, though. But had to ride our luck, and it went to 1-1. But we still, you know, it's a different type of thing. But winning in that manner, we haven't done it. We haven't done it for a long time. It was unbelievable. Before we wrap, though, Carrick and some transfer plans, because Fabrizio Romano has, you know, spoke about. It's quite broad, but he has said something regarding that.
Yeah, just a little bit on the sort of the transfer things. He said that the United hierarchy and Michael Carrick are going to have a meeting this week to decide what they will do in the transfer window. It's only the 19th of January. Carrick will have a voice in the decision. United are focused on identifying the right opportunities. I'm going to be honest, as far as the transfers go, maybe a loan could happen. I know there was some chatter, wasn't there, last week, but the mystery player, and then the mystery player disappeared as quickly as they appeared in the first place. It might be some kind of loan. I think, given the fact that we've just got so few games this season, even if say a Xerxes left, which looks like it still might not happen. I know obviously he wasn't in the squad at the weekend. They said he was injured, but also said he still might have played his last game for the club. Then the Roma director came out, didn't he, and said basically United have said no, that they're not going to do it. Even if he did go, I wouldn't even be shocked if we didn't get a replacement, because I do think the mindset might just be like, you know, we don't need him because we've got so many games coming up. We've hardly got any coming up. It might be, like I said, a light loan in a position, maybe in midfield or maybe in an attacking place. And that might be one of the last few days of the window, perhaps, just because they might see, oh, well, let's wait until the NC was available, that we might pinch someone for 6 months kind of thing. But I wouldn't be expecting loads. And in that meeting, I'm sure it'll probably be said to Carrick, like, we'll be open till the end of the window, but, you know, we're not going to spend a huge amount of money or anything like that. That's going to be a summer thing.
Yeah, no, I agree. Exactly. I don't think they'll make big decisions. And when you look at, it's weird when you look at how the team plays and you go, if everyone's fit and there's 16 games for the rest of the season, not doing the Ineos, backing them. But then is it a case of like, that's why you look at it, they're confident you've got these good players at your disposal. Are we a little bit like, you got to go and buy someone now and do this, do that? And you go, well, look how he's just played. You go, well, you've got Dorgu who can play on the wing. You got Ahmad, you got Mbumo can play anywhere. You got Shesko to come back in. Cunha was on the bench. Mount was on the bench. You look at it and you go, if you added someone for that, okay, maybe Ugarte for someone better, but even though it's on the bench. But you're starting Kobe, you're starting Casemiro. You look at the centre backs. You've got Maguire back. He can play like that. Like you've got Euro there. You've got Heaven there. It is when you actually think, and this is me being accountable. Are we jumping a bit to be like, you've got to go and fucking get players right now? What does that look like?
I think it's just what one game can do, because, you know, basically
that's what I mean. Exactly.
Cobby's like a new signing, isn't it? Because he wasn't playing at all.
Exactly.
And now he's still but
how do we answer that, Owen? What does that look like?
No,
and chat,
I still
just quickly, what does it mean?
I don't think much has changed in like the last 7 days with that. I don't think we'll get anyone permanent. But I think if you can bring a loan into this team, maybe whether that is a winger still or whether that is a midfielder, I think that's probably the best that we can hope for. Because I do genuinely think there is probably a mindset of, well, look, we just don't have that many games, so we really don't need that like giant squad, do we? We don't.
No.
You know,
And it's literally like
that
16
period of time,
games. Like
that period of time that Ruben had, where it was all those players missing, but it was because AFCON plus injuries, wasn't it? If those players weren't at AFCON at the time, you'd go, wow, it's quite a few injuries, but we still got Mbeumo and Ahmad. Look at the difference Mbeumo and Ahmad made.
Oh, it was a joke.
You know what I mean?
It was actually a
Like,
joke.
it does make
like
a massive,
even under the
difference.
Carrick setup the other day, I'm not sure we do it without them too. Well, we don't. I don't think.
Yeah,
we
the
do.
Fletcher setup
We
the
do.
other day. Yeah. Like you know, it's just they
No,
make
the
such a
Carrick
massive
setup.
difference. Oh yeah, so I think you know maybe a loan, but what is it also interesting too is for all the chatter about obviously who the next head coaches might be, and I was saying Friday that I thought it might be Glasner. With the meltdown he's had, suddenly it's like maybe not. Unai Emery yesterday. Unai had another one when he was like, "Well, I'm not even sure we're top 5."
They're all trying to get. See, Man United don't have a manager, and all of a sudden, all these managers trying to get out of their jobs. Yeah,
the playbook. I said about Ruben when he left. Like the playbook is established for coaches that want to get out. You know what I mean? Just go scorched earth. You'll probably be sacked. But you know, it looks like both of them actually are going to stay. But whenever anyone's made those comments, so Glasner made those comments, and it turned into. Can't have that, United. Don't know about that.
Yeah.
And then Unai did it. It was can't have that. You know,
exactly.
Not that we'd get Unai Emery, but anyway.
No.
It's just.
But
it's just.
I mean,
it shows what can change so quickly.
So quickly. And I did
fast.
see. I don't know if it was Ornstein or another big outlet. I can't remember who it was, but they said that after talks, like they are going to keep Glasner to the end of the season, but he still hasn't spoken to Parish yet. But they're not going to sack him. But it just shows you, innit? People just, things just change. Guys, smash a like on the video. On the way out, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to United View if you haven't done so already. We're on our way to 210, man. You know, this is a good period. Everyone's happy again. Everyone's engaging again. The feel-good factor is there. So the road to 209 is right there. As you can see, we're on 208, 349. So let's get that 209 under the belt so we can focus to get to that 210 mark. Guys, big up to yourselves. I will see you later on. Red carpet will be live. Massive one. Sky Sports understand that Michael Carrick speak directly with Roy Keane on air. Oh, yeah, that's requested that. Oh, yeah, and they said no. Yeah, of course. I saw that.
Yeah. It was because they wanted to talk directly to the studio, and it was Gary Neville instead in the tunnel, wasn't it? And to be fair,
rightly so.
If you said stuff about your wife, you know, you'd be like, no, exactly,
100%.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. We are out of it. See you on the red carpet. Don't miss it. It's going to be a big one. And anything else in between. Asher says goodbye as well. Big up to each and every single one of you. Peace. Enjoy the day. Believe.